when I was 3, I sang for like a little church. The little kids got to do a performance, and we all sang together. And it was more like I was kind of shouting the words, but I would still like B-I-B-L-E. I was like, B-I-B-L-E. That's the book for me. Like 3 years old.
Energetic, so early.
Yeah, and so I was just really comfortable on stage and performing from a young age. I'd say I started like professionally when I was 13. I started playing at jamborees around the area, like at the Riley Springs Jamboree and some other ones. And I played country music for a while, and that was really easy for me because I also play the violin, and so everyone wants the fiddle player, and I enjoyed it. I learned a lot from my time playing country music, and I also love folk music. I love music that is derived from kind of like old world music. But then when I was 15, I started playing jazz like at local wineries and stuff like that, and I did a little bit of folk too. I tried to throw my original music in there, hoping that people might enjoy that as well. And then most recently, I had a band for a little while, and we had the opportunity to play at the House of Blues in Dallas, which was
awesome.
Totally awesome.
It's a cool venue.
It's an awesome venue. Yeah. We were in the restaurant area, but I mean, still, to actually have a booked gig at the House of Blues was absolutely amazing. And then I started recording, and that's what I was doing before I tried out for The Voice, recording my original music, and I've had to put that on hold, but hopefully I'll get to continue that at some point. Yeah.
Cool. So at what point did you decide, like, this is what I want to do? Music is where I want to go with life. Like, has it been a long time since it happened? Was it kind of recently? Like, what made it such a focal point in your life?
I've always wanted to be a singer. When I was, and this might be hard to believe, but when I was in, I think, kindergarten, I went around saying I wanted to be a singing paleontologist because I really like dinosaurs, like the Land Before Time. Like, I knew all the dinosaurs' names, like their actual scientific names. I don't anymore. I was smarter when I was little. No, but anyway, I always wanted to sing. I think that in high school, it really became something where the passion grew, and I remember thinking to myself that I just can't be anything else but a singer. And for a long time, I thought that meant, that I would have to be super famous or something. But a year or so ago, I realized that no matter what I do, no matter where I am, I'm always going to be a singer.
Right.
And my parents wanted me to go to college so that I could support my music career at some point if they couldn't. And I realized throughout, my college and everything that music is never second to anything. It's always the focal point in my life, no matter where I am, no matter if I don't have a gig that night. That doesn't mean that I'm not a musician and that I'm not a singer.
Right. It's all in the heart. That's for sure. So, what is your most memorable musical moment up until what you're doing currently? Just single out one.
Okay, honestly, my most memorable musical moment has to be, and it might sound silly, but I got to sing in the Sulphur Springs High School talent show junior year, and I performed one of my original songs, and cool. So it was really special to me. My friend Kaylin Stewart played the piano for me, and I played the violin, and I remember going out on stage, and I'd never gotten to really perform one of my original songs with so many people in the audience, and some people get nervous, but I am more nervous walking down the street and having to talk to the cashier at Walmart.
Right.
Not that I'm like socially inept, but I'd much rather be on stage. Like, that's where I feel most comfortable. And getting to perform on an actual stage in front of a really big audience, it just built my confidence as a singer, and my original song was really well received by my peers, and it was just it was so amazing to know that your friends and your peers respect your music and see that it's really important to you.
Right.
It was amazing.
You mentioned being confident, like something like that helping you out in the future, which now you're on the NBC show The Voice, and you had the battle round last night, you and Sarah, and the judges kept on talking about like your voice and being confident and and just getting up there and owning it. And Pharrell talks about you walking up there, swinging your purse around like a Southern lady. Like, you really did just get up there and own it. And so hearing that from those judges, how does that make you feel? What does that feel like, hearing that from someone so successful like Pharrell and Adam and all those people?
Having the coaches say such positive things about me has really boosted my confidence. I've never been afraid to sing. I've always loved it, but hearing such positive review from such established and well-known musicians who are they're amazing musicians, and so to hear that from them, it just boosts my confidence even more, but it also, is also, it keeps me thinking, I have to make sure that I continue to, push farther and push deeper into who I am as a musician, so that I continue to impress these coaches.
Right.
I will say that Pharrell, he really touched my heart. He made me kind of emotional when, and this was before a winner was even announced. He said, you proved tonight that you're afraid of no one. And I'm not really sure what it is in me that needed to hear that or wanted to hear that, but for some reason I just, I was worried that I was going to start bawling on stage. It was amazing.
And you mentioned feeling that spiritual connection between you and Pharrell. Like, talk a little bit about that. Was that kind of part of it? What made you feel that connection?
Yes, I think that the fact that Pharrell's such a spiritual person and I'm an incredibly spiritual person, I think that definitely added to me choosing him when he and Adam were battling to steal me. I had to close my eyes though when I chose, because I felt like if my eyes are open, my physical self is thinking, Adam's a rocker, I need to go with Adam. But my heart, like my spirit, just felt like Pharrell somehow, like just the comments that he made, without him, having that spiritual part of himself, I felt like he wouldn't have known those things to say that would reach my spirit without that spiritual connection.
Okay. So going back just a little bit, what made you want to say, hey, okay, I'm going to go try out for The Voice? Like, I'm going to do this. What led you to that point?
Well, I felt like, number one, The Voice is a really nice show. It's very positive. No one is ever put down or made fun of, and so
Simon Cowell.
Yeah, and so I thought to myself, if I ever did this sort of singing competition show, I would want to be on The Voice. And honestly, I woke up one day and I was like, I should go ahead and do this. I should try this because, if it's a situation where I'm meant to, audition, I'm meant to go a little ways in it, however far that is, then it'll work out. And if it doesn't, I'll just keep recording. And so it was just sort of I think I'll try this, which is, I think, a lot of times how some of the best things in life work out is you just decide, well, I'll try this, and it may not work out, but I'm going to do it.
Just got to go for it.
Got to go for it. My main focus for The Blind was to sing my song just, how I always sing, and to deliver it as best that I can. And I love the song The Letter. It's one of my favorite songs. And I've been singing it for a really long time, so I was really comfortable with it and very thankful that, that was the song that I would be singing. Honestly, there was a little bit of nerves before I walked out there. But I decided that no matter what happened, that I would give a great performance, and that I would do my best. And so I went out there with that mindset. And I think having that kind of positive mindset and just putting, and I don't really get nervous a lot on stage, but it was nerve-wracking, just the entire situation and the pressure and the stress of being there in this new place and it's a strange situation. It doesn't happen in life. You don't go out with people not seeing you perform. You go perform somewhere, everybody's there in the audience and they see you. So it was strange, but I put any kind of nerves that I could have had aside, and I just went on stage and did what I always do. And thankfully, Blake liked it and turned around.
What were you feeling? Because you're singing your whole song, and the judges they're loving it, but they've already picked their teams. But they're just like, Blake, you gotta take this girl. Like, you've got to do it. What are you thinking whenever he's not turning around? Like,
I didn't know how many spots were left or anything like that, or who had a spot. And I knew throughout the song that no one was turning around, and I'm surprised that I didn't freak out more. I honestly felt this sort of calm, and I remember thinking to myself, nobody's turning around. But I remember I just was singing to the audience just like it was a normal show, and I focused on them and on my performance, and I was hoping that at least by the very end that someone would turn around. But my main concern was I want to give a good performance no matter what happens.
Now you moved on to the battle round. You battled. Now you changed teams. What's Pharrell like? What kind of coach is he? What is he going to be?
Pharrell is awesome. And not only does he give a lot of fantastic advice as far as the music is concerned, he also gives really great advice just person to person. And I don't want to, give anything away, but he is a really fantastic coach and really wants you to not only be yourself as a musician, but he wants to see you being yourself just as a person and in life, and to be aware of who you are.
That's awesome. It's cool to see a show on this level still have like the personable value to it, and get to like really connect with the artist and share, your beliefs with someone, like you said, with Pharrell, and just have that connection there. Looking forward, are you excited? What's next?
Next is the Knockouts. Yeah. I'm super excited. I can't really say anything about that, but just watch for me in the knockout rounds. I'm excited for it, and I hope everyone else is too.
I know on social media you're getting a lot of followers now. People are tweeting you. I saw today on Twitter, just a bunch of fans like talking about how much they loved your performance and you as a person. So to anyone who is thinking like, man, I really want to try to do something like this, with your experience that you have thus far, what would you say to those people as far as, going out and trying to make something like this happen?
I believe that, in our society and in our culture, there's a lot of push for people to, be realistic and think, well, realistically, there's so many good singers and there's barely anyone that really makes it to the top, and, I should probably just, do what is normal in society. Yeah. And I believe that a little bit of anti-reality is needed to follow your dreams and to make them become reality, because I think that true reality is letting that passion that's deep inside you and that dream you have is following that and letting it come to life. So, anyone who has a dream, follow that dream, and it may take a while, and there may be times where, you feel like, you're not getting anything back, and you're giving so much to your dream and it's not giving anything back to you. But eventually, if you give and you work hard, you're going to get that back.